The new iPad Air is actually better than the iPad Pro, and I'll tell you at the end of the video why, because before I've got to tell you everything that's new, including its weaknesses, but truly the one reason that makes me recommend people to go Air instead of going Pro. There's nobody better to talk to about the new iPads than Jaws and John Ternus, the Senior Vice President of Worldwide Marketing and the Senior Vice President of Hardware Engineering at Apple.
iPad Air, the idea is to take what were previously Pro features only, right, and to bring it to at an even more affordable price for our customers. And you saw that. We put the M2 chip that used to be only in Pros, right? We took even a 13-inch size that used to be only in Pros. We bring those type of features down to a more mainstream price with the iPad Air.
You've got the entire Inside the Ecosystem Plus podcast episode in the description below. You can listen to it for free. Or if you'd rather watch the podcast, you can join Inside the Ecosystem Plus, which will allow you to watch all the episodes in video. Anyways, let's talk about the iPad. So the main protagonist of the new iPad Air is its big brother. It finally comes with a new 13-inch size. If you always wanted a 13-inch model, you always had to upgrade to the more expensive, more premium iPad Pro. And iPad Air fans were always asking for the 13-inch model. And it's finally here. The 13-inch iPad Air is great for productivity since it actually has a 30% more screen real estate. You can literally have 2 full screen split screen apps, which gives you so much screen space to work, to watch movies, to game on. I'm going to be making an entire video just comparing both sizes because I absolutely love both of them, and it's kind of a love and hate relationship between both of them. I want to know, are you team 11-inch or are you team 13-inch? Let me know in the comments. The 13-inch iPad Air is kind of annoying in a way. A weakness that I find that having such a large display is that since it's so big, you just want to unlock it, right? And the iPad Air has Touch ID. So sometimes you're using your iPad like this and you just want to open it and then it gives you the password and then you have to put Touch ID. But the iPad Pro, especially the 13-inch, you just unlock it, right? Since it has Face ID, it just unlocks it really easily. And I find it kind of annoying having to unlock it with Touch ID. I feel like Face ID truly shines in such a large display. It's fine on the 11-inch iPad Air since it's so comfortable, you know, it's pretty much reachable in all fingers, but the 13-inch, it's so big, you know what I mean, right? The iPad Air still maintains that beautiful LCD display that looks stunning. It reaches up to 600 nits of brightness, which is decent brightness, but don't expect the craziest brightness if you're trying to work outdoors. That's why the iPad Pro is for. It still has a 60 Hz display, and for such an expensive tablet, for such an expensive iPad, this should not be acceptable. But yet again, if you ask somebody in the street, what is a 60 Hz display? And if you show them, do you actually see a difference between both devices? I can assure you that 80 to 90% of those people won't even notice a difference. Trust me, I wish the iPad Air would have it, but I don't see it as much of a big of a deal as people make it seem. Because on how bright, how vibrant the LCD on the iPad Air is, I wouldn't say the display of this is bad. It's the total opposite. It's an absolute stunning display with vivid colors. The heart of this iPad has been upgraded from the M1 to the M2 chip, which delivers up to 25 faster speeds and still delivering that all-day battery life. Now, a feature that I was begging Apple to change on this iPad was the camera placement. Apple has finally placed the camera in landscape mode because Apple knows that we're using our iPads like laptops now. We're using them with keyboards, and whenever we FaceTime somebody, the person felt like we weren't actually looking at them, and now it's right on the center just like a laptop. This feature should have come here a long time ago, but hey, I'm so happy that it's finally here. We got a pretty decent 12 megapixel wide back camera, which is great for scanning documents if you're a student. The design itself has not changed. We still get this beautiful aluminum body with one camera, the microphone, 4 speakers, which deliver incredible sound. We get Touch ID, still no Face ID, which I get for the iPad Air. We get the smart connector pins for its accessories, which we're going to talk about in just a second. There is no SIM tray this year because Apple is going all in on eSIM. So if you do want a cellular model, it's eSIM compatible. So you can work wherever you want with 5G being always on you.
Here's a quick hands-on with the 11-inch iPad Air and the new big brother, the 13-inch iPad Air. Which one's your favorite? I want to know down in the comments. I love the portability that the 11-inch gives you, but the 13 inches, it's so big and you have such a large display that for productivity, this one's king. So you can see 30% more screen estate on the 13-inch. But yeah, let me know in the comments which one's your favorite. Let me know in the comments.
Now here's where it starts to get a little bit complicated, because the new iPad Air is compatible with the new Apple Pencil Pro, which is incredible, which is one of my favorite things about this new iPad. It has Find My support. I mean, how many times have you lost an Apple Pencil in your life? I know I have so many. You can now open up the Find My app and actually find it. You've got the new barrel roll feature, so whenever you twist it, the pencil will twist as well in the iPad, which is incredible for drawing and even writing because it feels more like a pencil than ever. It's also got haptic feedback, so it will actually vibrate depending on what you do. And there is now this squeeze gesture that you can program it to do whatever you want it to do. You can pinch on it on Apple Notes to bring up the tool palette. But the real cool thing about this is that you can actually program the pinch to a shortcut. So you can literally turn off the lights of your home with this. You can hold on it and you can take a screenshot on your iPad. I made an entire video about the new Apple Pencil Pro, which is linked down below in the description. But the problem with the iPad Air is kind of its accessories, because the new iPad Air is only compatible with the Apple Pencil USB-C and the Apple Pencil Pro. So if you had an Apple Pencil 2nd generation from last year, it's not compatible with the iPad Air. Now, there's this whole why on Apple made this happen because they changed the design. I mean, let's be real. If Apple really wanted the iPad to be compatible with all Apple Pencils, they could probably do that. So that's kind of a bummer that you have to upgrade obligatory to the new Apple Pencil Pro, which, hey, it's an amazing device and I totally recommend this. But Apple forcing us to do that is kind of... Apple also released the new Magic Keyboard. But the problem is that's only compatible with the new iPad Pro. So the iPad Air is only compatible with like the standard Magic Keyboard. That's the problem that I see with this whole accessories compatibility thing that's going on. It's just kind of confusing for someone that doesn't really understand, like us, that we love talking tech. I find the iPad accessory lineup right now a little bit messy because, once again, if you don't really understand tech, it might be very hard. But anyways, iPad Air is compatible with the Magic Keyboard that we always love. It is a phenomenal keyboard because it protects your iPad and converts your iPad into basically a laptop. You've got the trackpad, you've got amazing clicky keys, and that's what I told Jaws in my interview. What I love so much about the iPad is that it's a tablet when you need it, a notebook when you need it, and also a laptop when you need it, because you've got the versatility with the Apple Pencil, the keyboard, using just the iPad by itself. And that's exactly why the iPad is one of my favorite products in the ecosystem, because it's so versatile to do so many things. And that's why students love it. That's why entrepreneurs love it. That's why creatives love it. And that's why it's such a versatile device. But Apple did something that just makes this iPad Air so much more worth it this year rather than last year. So in my review of the last generation iPad Air, I said this. And now the iPad Air starts at base storage of 128 gigabytes. That now it finally makes it really easy to recommend an iPad Air rather than an iPad Pro, because 128 gigabytes, at least for most people, is enough. And that makes me really happy, because that makes me believe that Apple truly listens to us, to the customers, the ones that give out respectful opinions that make these products better over time. And even though this new iPad Air isn't perfect, and we'll get into that in just a second, this is why this year's iPad Air is actually better than the iPad Pro. Just the fact that the base storage is just set right. Beautiful display, beautiful design, amazing accessories. 95 of the experience that you get on an iPad Air, you get it on the iPad Pro. iPad perfection for students now finally exists. Now, the weaknesses, something that I'm asking for Santa Claus for the wish list of my next generation iPad, and that's the 120 Hz display and Face ID. But I guess we're gonna leave that for its bigger brother, the iPad Pro. You can watch my review right here of it, because Apple has truly pushed the limits of what an iPad can do, or you can watch my interview with Jaws and Ternus in Inside the Ecosystem. Subscribe if you're new, and thank you so much for watching.